Good afternoon. I'm back here at the computer about to go into phase 2 of printing. If you recall, last time I managed to get the new Epson printer set up, and I was able to print pretty well from Epson print layout, but I couldn't get anything working properly using Lightroom. The results come out very weirdly colored. I told you I'd have to go debug that, and I did. The basic problem was the install had gotten hosed, and so it didn't add some features of the printer driver, it just had them blanked out. So I will now show you how you're supposed to do it. So, how to get it set up properly? Well, first of all, you have to go to Settings, go to Bluetooth and Devices, Printers and Scanners. Now the printer I'm using here is the Epson ET-8550, which is already installed properly now. And go down to the printing preferences. When you do that, wind up with this printing preferences dialog. Go to more options. Now when I first installed this and it didn't go well, there was no advanced button at all or image options. So once I reinstalled it, it was there. Now if you click on advanced, color correction, color management. Now what you're likely going to find when you come on initially is it's going to be set onto color controls. You do not want it on color controls. You want to put it to no color adjustment. That way whatever the app sends, which will be set up properly for the right type of paper, will go to the printer and the printer won't try to double process it. So you click OK, OK, and now you're set to actually print properly. So now we have the image set up here. If we want to go to print it over here, and you'll see we have a large set of options. But the main thing here is that it's got color management. Instead of saying managed by printer, which it was doing before, you can set the different types of paper. Right now this is the option we got selected. I can have other ones later. But at this point you then choose perceptual or relative. And when these are two possible ways of remapping colors from the image itself to your printer's capabilities. I recommend testing them out and see which one gives you a better result with your printer. It may be a case where you have to do it differently for each photo. But set those up, then you can click on print and you'll get your print properly color managed. So now I'm able to print not just from the Epson print layout program, but from Lightroom and Photoshop and get good results. Unfortunately, the only paper I've used so far is Epson's default Ultra Premium Glossy, which is a very good paper, I'll grant you, but it's also very, very glossy, and I generally prefer to work with something that has a bit more texture to it. So at this point, it's time to move on to some other papers. So here we have a couple of sampler packs, one of Epson's signature Worthy paper and the other of Hahnemühle fine art inkjet paper. These can be found at professional camera stores, and also you can order them online. They come with 2 sheets of each of several different types of papers, so it's a lot more cost effective than having to buy whole boxes of papers just to test out a page or two. I'm going to be printing from these. I'm going to be doing color and black and white using the sample images that I had previously. Now I have the test photo loaded up, the one I used in my previous session, and I have Ultra Premium Photo Paper Luster loaded here. So as you see right now, the paper media type is on Glossy. So I'm taking it down to Photo Paper Luster, and so now I can print from there and we'll see what comes out. Now, I'm quite surprised at these results and quite happy with these results. The one on the left here, the luster, looks not at all unlike the Moab luster that I've been using for a long time. And that the one on the right is the one that surprises me the most, the Velvet Fine Art. And this shows the qualities of this printer. Because with previous printers, I found that velvet papers or matte papers generally would come out looking very washed out. The inks just did not take the paper well, but this one has both regular dye black and photo or pigment black. And so as a result, if you look at these closely, I mean, I will grant that there's somewhat more black, a deeper black, and somewhat more vibrant colors on the luster, which I would expect. By the same token, some photos look good on matte or textured paper, and this looks really good. I would have no problems printing these commercially, and so I'm very happy about having the extra versatility. Now I'm going to go print this sample image on several other papers, but these are the only ones that are built into the Epson driver. So now I have to go with the ICC profiles. I'm going to tell you a bit more about how to get those now. So you get profiles off the paper manufacturers' websites. Most of them will have them available. At this point I'm showing you Hahnemühle. Epson will be the same, and all the other papers will be the same too. You want to go up to Digital Papers and to ICC Profile, Download Center. Printer manufacturer is, of course, Epson. The printer type is the 8550. You have to decide which paper group you want. The one that we have is the fine art, so I'm going to the glossy fine art, for example. They also have matte and smooth. I'll have to get different types for each one. But for example, here we have, let's just try the fine art burrito as an example. Click on that to download. So once you have it downloaded, you extract the files in the zip to a separate folder on your desktop or wherever. Notice that you have several PDFs. This is the printer saying German, English, Spanish, and French. I'm assuming you're watching this in English, so you probably want to make sure to keep these. These are important. You'll need them for proper printing later on. But then at the top you've got the ICC profile itself, and what you do to install this is right-click, and you see at the top Install Profile. Now I'm not going to select this because I've already got the profile installed, but when you do that, it will install it to your system, and thereafter you'll be able to print that paper from either the Epson print layout program or Photoshop or Lightroom or whatever other program you want to use it with. Now that we have the profiles installed, we're ready to print. Now this one needs one of those add-on profiles like I've shown you before, so what you do now is scroll down to the color settings. Before, with the built-in profiles, you have Printer Manages Color. This one you want to instead go to Use ICC Profile, and it will give you a whole list of the profiles you've got right now, and the one I'm looking for is the Exhibition Fiber. So that's this one here, and I'm going to go with perceptual rather than relative colorimetric just because I feel like doing it this time. But that's not all you have to do now. So now if you recall, I mentioned that when you download profiles, you also get several PDFs. In this case, you want to go to this one here, which is going to be the printing instructions. And you see with this one, you have ultra premium photo paper luster is what you're supposed to be using for the for this particular type of paper. So you go over here and set it to the luster, which I've got set already here. And now you print this and it should work just fine. Now I've loaded up a black and white test image. I'm shooting some black and white prints. And the difference here is that instead of using the color settings in ICC Profile, you disregard that entirely and you pick Advanced Black and White Photo. And at this point I'm just going to try it out, but I guess you do several tests to see what looks good. It supposedly gets the best result for doing black and white on this printer. However, you still have to use the media type that was specified in the ICC profile. So this is what we do now, and we'll see the results on this one.
Many hours later.
Well, I've just finished all of the Hahnemühle, Epson, and Moab test prints. I was going to do that. 14 different papers, color and black and white on each. That gives you 28 photos altogether. And I'd like to point out to you the ink levels we have right now. They're almost still at the top. And this is even with having done all the other printing I've done before that. If I'd been using my previous printer, it's safe to say that these would have been about at the end of each cartridge life, or I probably might have had to replace them already. So this is a really, really impressive performance, and it makes me more confident that I can keep doing test prints of things and make sure I get everything just right and don't have to worry about running out of ink and having to go and buy a whole lot of new cartridges. I'm going to be evaluating them over the next couple of days and deciding which ones I like best. I think I'm probably going to be tending more toward a glossy or semi-gloss for color photos, and a more textured, more matte paper for black and white. It seems to work better with them. However, I'm already noticing some distinct differences between papers. This is the original print I did on the Epson Ultra Glossy, and this is on the Moab LaSalle Exhibition, which I've been using beforehand as my reference paper. It's a luster paper. Now, I don't know if it'll show up in this video, but if you look carefully, the big distinction is look at the blue in the sky over that church. On the Epson paper, it is lighter, and it is also pushed considerably more toward cyan, toward a greenish quality to the blue. This one over here is just pure blue and darker. Now, I've been looking at the print, and I would say that the actual image on screen is far closer to this one. To be honest, I've always been bothered by cyan skies because skies really aren't that color. On the other hand, one thing you also notice is that the Moab is considerably darker overall. I mean, look at the shrubs there compared to the ones here, and you can see they stand out a lot more where they're more buried in the shadows here. Similarly, if you look at these two photos of mine, there's two prints of the same photo. This is the Epson, this is the Moab. Once again, you'll see the same symptom in the sky. It's much more toward green in the Epson, and to be honest, when I processed it was definitely for a more blue tint like you'll find in the Moab. That's what the sky should look like. On the other hand, it's clear that the Moab on this one is definitely darker, and I would say too dark at this stage. Now, as you've seen from those prints, with Epson print layout, basically what you see is what you get when you're using profiles. However, with Lightroom and Photoshop, you can fine-tune your print copies so that you can get them closer to what you have on screen. And I'll be showing you that in the next printing video. For the moment, I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you next time, hopefully out on the trails somewhere. Bye.